on?
Yep.
Hey Tubies, we're in line for Hal-Con Saturday morning, and it's a long line.
Very long line.
We're still in the mall. There are still 4 sections of the mall to get through, an underpass, an escalator, and then another long hall through the convention center before we even get into the convention.
Yeah, and what time is it?
It is 9:45. Doors are supposed to open in about 15
minutes for us, because we just have regular passes. I know. Next year we'll be VIPs, don't worry.
There we go. We'll give you another update when we get in there.
Yeah. See you then. I think you're rolling.
Really?
The light's really poor.
Light's really poor. Perfect.
Yeah.
Hello, my Tubies.
Hey, Tubies.
We are here at Hal-Con. We are on the games floor. My voice is almost gone.
Mine's not doing much better.
Hopefully you can hear me. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the camera from Charlotte here for a second, and I'm going to show you around the games floor. The library, the tables, everything that's going on. Show you around? Here we go, Tubies. This would be the Hal-Con game library. And it gives more, and there's more, and there's more. And over here, you take them out, they give you a little card, and then here is the floor. All this dedicated to board gaming. We got some RPG tables over here. Show you a little bit more.
Hi, Tubies. Charlotte and Justin here from Sweethearts or Rivals.
Hey.
It's the morning after Hal-Con.
Almost.
Well, almost. For us it is. Hal-Con's still going on, but
yeah.
You've got a job to get back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost not morning anymore.
Yeah, true. So, almost time for checkout. So we just wanted to do a little recap here whilst you're here.
Yep.
So excuse the wet hair and the no makeup, and we're oh so tired.
Yeah.
Justin's almost sick. Anyway. So, what's the recap from yesterday?
Yesterday, after we spent hours in lines and hours in Q&As and stuff, which was awesome, it was fun.
Yeah.
We got to see some awesome people. We came back and had supper and then headed right for the game floor.
Yeah.
We were on the game floor until about...
It was like 11:30, I think.
11:30, yeah, 11:30, 12, which was cool. And it stayed open a little bit later too. We didn't have to leave right then and there.
Yeah, we were just really exhausted.
But we did manage to play 4 games that we'd never played before, which is awesome. The first one we chose was?
Lords of Vegas.
Lords of Vegas.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think it would be better with more players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely... I'm glad we tried it before we bought it, number one.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we try it with more players before we bought it, but I think it's good enough for us to invest.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Lots of, it's a very direct kind of area control. Mm-hmm. So there'll be a lot of conflict, a lot of like making casinos yours and taking it over from other people.
Yeah.
And weaseling your way in.
But there's a little luck and randomness because the way you make your income, it depends on the draw of the card.
Yeah.
So you're betting on what color casinos you have are going to be drawn as the income card.
Yeah, there's a really strong element of gambling throughout the whole game.
And you feel like you're gambling the whole game.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And I think I played wrong because I ended up with this stack of money.
Well,
but
there's the pay the strip cards, which pay a lot of money.
Yeah. And
near the end of the game, and they all came out. One came out like the first round, which paid nothing. And then the rest of them didn't come out until like near the end of the game when we had built a lot.
Right.
So that's why.
Yeah. And you won by 2 points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a close game. What do we play next?
Next, we played Kingdom Builder.
Kingdom Builder, yeah.
Which we were kind of wishy-washy on because it didn't have a lot of favorable reviews.
No.
But when I watched the reviews and the gameplay and stuff, I thought, oh, I think that's a game I would enjoy because it's kind of puzzly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like in-depth strategy or in-depth theme or anything, but I kind of like that puzzling nature.
Yeah. And I just looked at it and thought, that doesn't have any theme at all. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So we actually got to play it, and our impressions were kind of...
I'm still half and half on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one, too, better with more players.
Yeah,
we
we
played
have
a
to try it.
two-player game.
Yeah.
Might be something I would trade for.
Okay.
I don't know that I would buy it, but I would definitely put it down in math trade or something that I would trade for it.
Yep. And it was extremely puzzly.
Yeah.
And really no theme driving it. It's just all puzzly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bad puzzle at all. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how it worked, like when you got the special tiles and then you could add on extra moves, like put out different houses at the end of your turn, which is good because I got like 2 of them like maybe in the first round or
Yeah.
so I was putting 2 extra houses out around for the whole game.
Yep.
So I ended the game quite quickly.
Yep. And you beat me by 1 point.
1 point. That's the best. You
Yeah.
beat him by 1 point.
I guess my big issue with the game is that very first placement of houses is super strategic. Like you've got to look on the whole board and see where you're going to place those first 3 houses. And then after that, you take a card and you know on your next turn that's where you're going to have to place houses. And the amount of choices that you have to make decline rapidly.
Yeah.
So it's like one card I got to put here. It's got to be adjacent.
And then I had those 3 cards at the top for how you're going to get the points.
Yeah.
So you always had to be mindful of those 3 cards.
Yeah.
Which at that point in the day, for me, I was a little tired, so I'm surprised I even won by 1 point.
But there's a lot of those cards that would make a lot of replay.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of the board is made up of 4 pieces, and there's a lot of pieces, so the board would change and the special
Yeah, it'd
abilities
be
would
very
change.
different each time.
Yeah, so a lot of replayability in that.
Yeah.
Which was kind of.
And they didn't have pink for houses, but they had neutral, which I kind of actually, that's probably my second favorite color. Neutral.
Just natural wood.
Just natural wood.
Yeah.
Probably cuts down on the cost. You don't have to paint a set.
True.
Anyway.
Right on.
Then what did we play?
We played after that, it was Dominion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tons of people love Dominion.
Oh yeah.
We had watched a review when we first got back into board gaming, and I was like super interested in it, and then it just fell off our radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it was funny, like when we ordered supper, the guy that came, he was like delivering it, and we were talking, oh yeah, Hal-Con, yeah, we're gonna go play some games. I just bought Dominion. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, if it's there, we should play it.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
And I think watching other reviewers, it was mentioned that Dominion has kind of slid off everyone's radar. They're not putting out any more expansions, but I think they announced a new expansion for it sometime soon.
I seem to remember hearing someone say that that we watched.
So a lot of expansions, and that's one of the things that I could see driving Dominion, because you're building a deck while you're playing, and there's only 10 kinds of cards out, and in the base set I think there's like 20.
I don't know. The whole box was full.
Yeah, there's a lot. So if you started adding all these expansions, you're only playing with 10. So again, replayability would be great.
Mm-hmm.
The deck building aspect was kind of cool.
I liked that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. The theme was lacking.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how you could spruce it up anymore, but like those victory point houses, boring.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm buying this thing, it's named whatever they were named, but all it's got on it is shield.
Yeah, it didn't really matter.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it didn't really, I'm just buying it for the points.
Yeah. Definitely not a strong thematic excitement factor with that game.
No. But I found it very interesting and I would like to play it again.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's another one. I don't know if I'd invest in it right now.
Yeah.
But I would put it down for trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we had time for one more game before we were too tired, and we played
Wasabi.
Wasabi.
Yeah. I always wanted to play it because it looked kind of like cute little game.
Mhm.
And it was so funny when Justin was checking it out from the library. Like, I heard the girls say, that looks like the cutest game ever.
Yeah, and I was like, we're about to find out.
Yeah. And cuteness factor wasn't very high.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to rate it on a number scale or anything, but
No, it was high.
high cute factor.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because I was tired.
Oh, wait.
What?
We forgot to say who won Dominion.
Oh, who won Dominion? Did you really?
Yeah, we should picture the points.
Oh, that's right. You kicked my butt at Dominion.
I kicked his butt at Dominion. And just, I want to say one more thing about Dominion. Like, I felt like I was losing the game, so I stopped focusing on all the houses, and I just upgraded my money. And I bought more money. And I bought money. And then when I got a handful of money, I just bought all those point cards. I won.
And I did that early. Early on, I was like buying more houses or getting more money and using that to buy the estates, the victory points. And then at a certain point, I was like, all I'm getting is handfuls of the victory points, which you can't use to do anything. You just need them in your deck for the end of the game. So I started focusing on getting more of the other cards so I could build up my engine. And I focused on that way too long. And yeah, at the end of the game, Charlotte just like cleaned me. It was kind of cool. Yeah, it was
Yeah, so back to Wasabi.
cool. So yeah, for Wasabi, I don't know if it was because it was so late or because of like the puzzliness of it, but I was completely useless at it. I couldn't get anything going. And there's definitely like a rhyme and reason to it where
Yeah.
you gotta fulfill a small recipe to get a bonus card so you can manipulate the rules in order to fulfill a bigger recipe.
Yeah.
And I just kept trying to shoot for big recipes and it wasn't working for me.
Yeah. It was interesting, though. The little tiles they have for the ingredients, you get to pick one of those each turn.
Yep.
To fulfill your recipes that you have hidden behind your screen. And then it's like a grid board. And you're placing out your recipes, kind of like Sudoku almost.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of, like,
Your
because
ingredients out
you
on
get
the board.
them, like, you have to have your ingredients next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I found that part of it interesting.
Yeah, puzzling.
And then the special, and I like puzzly games anyway, so,
Yep.
and it's cute. But still, I don't know if I'd pay them money for it.
I don't think so. Maybe a trade.
I would trade for that one too,
Yep.
just to have it in my collection because it's cute.
Yeah, one thing that was kind of weird about Wasabi was you had this little Wasabi cup that you put Wasabi cubes in
Oh
it.
yeah,
But they didn't actually do anything except at the end of the game they gave you bonus points.
yeah, that was fun.
I didn't like that.
I thought it was fun.
Like if you're gonna have this
No.
little cup with the cubes and have such a presentation,
Oh, you
it should have
think
some
you
kind of
should be
special
able to-
power.
You should spend them for something.
Yeah, something awesome. And you didn't.
No, you didn't. But it's part of the cuteness factor.
Okay.
And the little bowls were like little. I don't eat sushi, so I don't know what you call them, but they look like little sushi implement. Yeah,
Little sushi bowls.
that's what you call them.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, interesting fact. Player color pink. Good job.
There you go. One thing interesting about the games floor this year was maybe because we've gotten into games so much more over the past year since last Hal-Con.
Yeah,
We got to the library and looked at it and we're like,
I was so underwhelmed.
yeah. I mean, we found games we wanted to play, but they weren't like at the top of our list.
No, and like I researched, I had a book filled with games that I wanted to play, and I almost put them. Well, the way I organized them was how high they were on the BGG rating.
Yeah.
But I'm not even sure we played any of the games off of that list.
I don't think so. I think
No.
we found games like, you know what, we've never played Dominion. Maybe we should give that a shot.
Yeah, and you know what? We've heard a lot about this game, and we've watched a lot of reviews on it. It's
Yep.
piqued my interest enough to give it a try.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which goes to show you how many games there are out there.
exactly.
There's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games.
The other thing that was interesting was you always look at Hal-Con, the game floor, the game library, and even going to the boardroom game cafe as this opportunity to play games and test them out before buying.
Mm-hmm.
But wandering around the floor, I got to see people like, I saw somebody with a shrink-wrapped copy of The Village because they had just bought it. And I wanted to go up to them and say, oh, good choice, that's
Good
awesome,
choice,
we love that
yeah.
game. Another person had opened up a copy of Fairy Tale, and they were learning how to play it. And we've never played Fairy Tale with more than just the two of us.
Yeah, that's true.
So there was this urge like, oh, that'd be great. I could teach them how to play, and we could play Fairy Tale with more than just the two of us.
Yeah, we should have got in on that.
And the same thing, there was another group, a couple who were playing Bruges, and they had just opened up. And again, that urge like, I could teach them how to play that, and then we could play a big game of Bruges.
True.
So there was that we really didn't get in on because we were like, we gotta go.
Yeah, and also like I was like thinking, oh, I want to get stuff for the show too.
Yeah.
Like I want to play stuff that I haven't played before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another interesting thing I found when I was walking through, sometimes I feel like, yeah, who cares about our opinion? But I take for granted how much we've learned in the last 3 years about board gaming.
Yeah.
Like, our knowledge is like, on average, higher than the normal board gamer.
Yeah, yeah. And not in any kind of arrogant way.
No,
it's just
no.
we are involved.
Yeah, and I take for granted how much we have immersed ourselves
Yes.
in this. And I think that everyone who plays board games does the same thing as us. But they do.
No.
Because it was funny, I was walking along and this couple had a Agricola Big and Small on the table. And they were trying to figure out the rules. And they flagged down one of the volunteers. And they're like, can you teach us how to play this? And he's like, is that Caverna? And I'm like, I'm going to keep walking. They're like, no, it's Agricola. And I want, oh, keep walking. It's Agricola Big and Small. Like, it's funny just like, I know now, like, just by looking at something, what the title of the game is. And
Yeah.
anyway, I just felt, I don't know what I felt. It just was like such a different
And it's funny,
realization.
and kind of go along with that, us looking at the library and being underwhelmed, how many people would look at that and be overwhelmed?
Yeah, and remember last year when we got there, like, I felt like there were either more shelves
Yeah.
or more game. I don't know, like, but maybe there was that many last year, and because this year we just exploded into this
Yeah.
evolution of gaming,
Yeah.
that it's changed us that much in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another fun thing too, walking out and just looking at some of the games, and we were like, is that Marvel Dice Masters?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we've kind of been interested, we're Quarriors fans, so we're like, should we just go ask them about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're standing there like getting these people's, like asking them questions, and they're right sweet about it. And
Yep.
that's really cool. Pink dice.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. We got to wrap up because checkout time is in 10 minutes. This is us wrapping up from Hal-Con.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Bye, Tubies.